Alrighty, everybody, it's 3:30, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. If you have a watch, don't forget to start it. I always forget to start mine, so with that, welcome everyone new and some familiar faces, which is great, to Yoga Pilates Fusion. I'm gonna give a brief description of this class. Feel free to grab a mat off of that wall and then a ball from that bag. So, welcome. You may see that the underlying theme of this class is just mind to muscle connection, which means, for anybody who isn't aware, it just means that you're recognizing what muscles we're using at a certain moment, not using the wrong muscles, making sure that you do feel kind of that burn, kind of that feeling of energy getting input into the muscles for kinder terms. But also, this class will be around 45 minutes. We do have about 15 minutes of core at the very end. I believe core is very important for that mind to muscle connection and just mobility in general. This class mainly focuses on strength, focuses on building that balance, building that flexibility, all things that are kind of tied within a mobility class, but mainly focusing on a lot of that muscle building and strength component of it. We'll slowly get into increasing the intensity with class, but little note, just make sure you're taking any modifications that you need within the class, doing whatever feels comfortable for you. I don't want anybody to get hurt today because I would love to see you all again on Thursday. So please make sure you're taking those modifications and going at your own pace, doing whatever is comfortable within your level. Feel free to ask me for a modification if you don't know, or just push back in a child's pose, go into a forward fold. Please do what's safe for you. I don't know how to fill out HR paperwork. Anywho, with that, we're also trying to focus on quality over quantity. That is extremely important in a movement-based class. And I'm rambling, so I'll try to get through this really fast. This is not a very meditative class. As you can tell, I talk really fast, and sometimes it gets a little confusing. So we're really just focusing on that mind-to-muscle connection. Let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna get our knees wide on the mat, going all the way down, walking our hands forward, finding that child's pose, letting our rib cage sink further into the floor. Taking those deep breaths. I forgot to mention this. Everybody joining us online, if you do not have access to a ball or blocks, do not worry. You don't necessarily need one at all. The blocks and the ball are just for you to properly orient yourself within a movement. So if you can do them without, feel free. Or go ahead and grab a pillow or a chair and try to substitute for those equipment items as well. Taking this time in our child's pose, bringing awareness to all four corners of our body, taking those deep breaths in. Might try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feel your forearms pressed into the mat. If you'd like to add a little bit of mobility through this stretch, feel free to rock your hips side to side. Really trying to focus on our breathing here. You might try box breathing, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold, and repeat. Finding length through your fingertips, walking your hands just a little bit further on every inhale. Letting your chest sink further into the floor on every exhale. When you're ready, we're going to lift up, finding that tabletop position. Knees are going to be stacked underneath of your hips. Shoulders are going to be stacked over the heels of your palms. Slight bend in that elbow as we transition into cat-cows. Taking a deep breath in, arching your spine, squeezing your core. You should feel like there's a string attached to your belly button pulling you up. And then exhale, we're going to release, lifting our chest all the way to the ceiling, nose lifted up, opening your heart to the wall in front of you. Repeating this again, deep breath in, arch that spine, pushing through your shoulders and the heels of your palms. Exhale, arching that spine back down, lifting the chest, finding fluidity through your spine, getting a good stretch going. One more deep breath in, arching that spine. Really trying to lift as high as you can here, squeezing your core, trying to get your ribs to meet your hips. One last time, exhale, lifting that chest all the way up to the sky. Deep breath in. When you're ready, find that neutral spine. Go ahead and just find a little bit of spine circles. Build that fluidity, that mobility. Stretch it out. And on your next exhale, go ahead and curl your toes underneath of you, pushing through the heels of your palms. Slight bend in those elbows. You're going to lift your glutes to the air. Hips are lifted, trying to meet your ribs and your hips together, pedaling out your feet. Slowly working towards getting both heels to meet the ground. There should be no pressure in your wrist joints here. You should be pushing through your shoulders and your back, staying lifted through the strength in your core. Remembering to breathe, taking those deep breaths. One more deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to walk our hands to our feet, find that forward fold. Slowly getting ready for the warm-up of today's class. Letting your spine roll up vertebra by vertebra, reaching your hands overhead. Feel free to link your fingers if that helps you, taking little side bends, waking up both left and right side body. Inhale, reaching your fingertips up, find that length. Exhale, bringing your elbows back, squeezing your shoulder blades. You should feel activation through your back here. One more deep breath up, slowly lowering yourself down. Find that chair pose, length through fingertips. Deep breath in. Exhale, folding over, finding that forward fold. Taking another deep breath in, we're going to hinge at our hips, straight line through your back, squeeze through the glutes, lifting your shoulders up, making a Y. Should feel like you're pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades. Exhale, lowering back down, find that forward fold. One more deep breath in, roll that spine vertebra by vertebra, reaching your fingertips up, find that length. Little side bends. Deep breath in, exhale, squeezing your elbows down, pinching that pencil between your shoulder blades. Exhale, lift, slowly lower, find that chair pose, and fold over your knees, forward fold. If you need a little bit more support in this forward fold, feel free to grab those blocks and stack them underneath your hands for a little extra added height. Another deep breath in, hinging at those hips, lifting that back up, straight line, lifting our shoulder blades up, squeezing our traps together. Find that Y. Folding over our knees one more time. Last time in this little flow, go ahead, deep breath in, roll that spine vertebra by vertebra. Finding length through those fingertips, little side bends, waking up both left and right side body. Straight up, find that length, bringing those shoulders down, elbows bending, squeeze that back. Lifting all the way up, find that length. Chair pose, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads, folding over our knees, forward fold. Deep breath in, lifting up, half lift. Squeeze those shoulders, squeeze that back, find that Y. Exhale, falling all the way forward one last time. When you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands forward, coming into this high plank, squeezing through your core, pushing through your shoulders and your biceps. Deep breath in. Exhale, go ahead and lower your knees down to the ground, still squeezing the core. Elbows should be tight to your sides, slowly lowering down till your chest is all the way meeting with the floor. Pushing through your fingertips, hands still underneath of your shoulders. Go ahead and lift up, baby cobra. If you'd like to increase the intensity here, go ahead and look over each shoulder. Remembering to breathe. Exhale, pushing up, finding that tabletop position. Curling those toes underneath of you. Lift those hips in the air. Downward facing dog, still pushing through your shoulders, staying strong in your back and lifted through your core. Deep breath in. This time exhaling, coming back to that high plank. Holding here, staying strong through your biceps and your back and in your shoulders. You're just going to take little rocks forward and backward, keeping that pressure off your joints. Remembering to breathe. Let your breath work for you. One more deep breath in. Go ahead and let your knees lower all the way to the ground, finding that tabletop position. Go ahead and grab that ball. It's going to be our best friend this entire class. Don't worry. You're going to place it between your knees, squeezing your knees together. Feel your inner thighs activate, coming back to that tabletop position. From here, curling your toes underneath of you. You're just going to take little hover pulses up and lower back down. You should feel this in your quads. If you don't feel it right away, that's okay. You will in about 4. And I'll be your best friend. Remember to breathe. Squeeze the core, lift through the back, push through the triceps. And when you're ready, we're going to extend this here. So we're going to lift our knees up. We're going to push back into a lifted child's pose. Back to tabletop. Take that dip down. Push back. Activate through our shoulders. Squeeze the quads. Make sure you're taking your breaks. Going at your pace. Do what's comfortable for you, remembering to breathe. It's actually really easy to forget, so I'm going to say it about 5 million more times. For 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and send those hips all the way back. Keep the ball between your knees. We're going to still do that downward facing dog. Squeeze the knees together. Deep breaths. One last time, we're going to walk our hands to our feet. Find that forward fold. This time we're going to grab the ball. Just leave it between your hands. Trying to let your spine sink down. Find that length. Let your arms relax. Let your legs relax. Before we get to our standing squat sequence, don't worry, it sounds more fun. One more deep breath in. We're going to roll our vertebra up. One by one, reach our hands overhead. Go ahead and pulse the ball between your palms. Feel your arms activate. There should be a little shake. It's a lot harder than it looks, I promise. Get that activation going. Deep breath in. Now try to lower. And if you don't have a ball at home, that's okay. Place both of your palms together and just squeeze. Lower and lift. Deep breaths. We're going to add on to this, I promise. If you're bored, just get that activation. One more time. Lower and lift. From here, once we get to that top position, you're just going to squeeze your palms together, but you're going to alternate leg lifts. Focus on that balance, pressing through all 4 corners of your down foot. Squeeze through your glutes. Squeeze through your core. And remember to breathe. If you want to get real crazy, feel free to add a little twist. Get more core activation here. Remember to breathe slow and in control. Focusing on that quality. If you want to increase the intensity just a little bit more, feel free to step that foot back in a lunge and come all the way back up. Step that foot back in the lunge, squeeze through the glutes, through the quads, remembering to breathe. Take breaks when needed. For about 2 more. Last one. Stepping our knees wide on the mat, or our feet wide on the mat. Go ahead and bring those hands down to a prayer, but holding that ball in between. From here, we're just going to do squats. Feel the activation through the glutes, through the quads, slow and in control. Keep the hips pulled up underneath of you. Don't want to hollow out through your lower back. Squeeze the core. When you're ready, we're going to add on here. Feel free to send the weight into your right glute. Lift your left leg up. Lower back down. Make sure you're not kicking the person next to you. Didn't think about that. Activating both left and right glute. Keeping the quads turned on. Use your breath. Inhale, lower, exhale, explode up. Draw the energy through your feet all the way up. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more. Then we'll transition. Last one. Still keeping our knees wide on the mat. We're going to lower down. We're just going to pulse. Keep pulsing. Keep that activation until you feel a little bit of heat generated. And then we'll add on to it. When you're ready, alternating, heel lifts up, both left and right. You should feel this in your calves, in your quads. Remembering those breaks. About 10 more seconds, still breathing. Deep breaths in. Go ahead and lift all the way up to standing. Deep breath in. Take those side bends. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down, rolling that vertebra by vertebra. Let your spine sink here. Feel free to bend those knees, alternating. Give them a little break. When you're ready, go ahead and walk those hands out in front of you. We're coming back into a tabletop position. For the main part of our workout today, go ahead, put that ball in your right hand, and we're just going to lift up. Look for that shoulder activation, that back activation. Squeezing through the core. Don't worry, we'll build on this. Making sure you're feeling the muscles that you want to be working. Don't try to turn off your brain. Take breaks when needed. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Find that length for about 2 more. Last one, keeping that arm lifted, shoulders still stacked over your wrists, knees still underneath your hips. Go ahead and rotate your arm around, reach for that back pocket. Back of your palm should be on your lower back if you can. If not, just reach. Work towards increasing that mobility, finding that stretch, staying lifted in your core, pushing through the heel of your left palm. For about 3 more. Really working on that mobility. Last one. This next one's fun. Go ahead and keep your arm lifted, but from here, we're just going to turn it into a bird dog, kicking your left leg back. So there's a straight line between the tips of your fingers to your top of your head. hips to toes. And you're gonna crunch, squeeze your core, lift up like those cat-cows, but you're gonna press that ball into the top of your thigh, squeeze, and extend back out. Inhale, find that length. Exhale, squeeze that core, press the ball into the top of your thigh. Almost done, I promise. Well, almost done with this. Remembering to breathe, remembering to take those breaks, working at your pace. For 2 more. You got it. Last one, extending all the way. Go ahead and lower that leg back down. We're going to take that ball. We're going to put it in between our calf and our thigh on our left leg, squeezing it, heel to your glutes, making sure it doesn't roll away. Deep breath in. When you're ready, we're going to kick that leg back, squeezing from the bottom of your left glute, and lower back down. Kick and lower. Exhale, kick. Inhale, lower. Keeping that core activated. 2 more. Last one. Keep that leg lifted. We're going to pulse for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lower that leg back down. Straight into hydrants, lifting your leg up to the side, activating another part of your glute. Make sure you feel that muscle activation. Keep control of your breathing. It's okay if you shake a little bit. Trust me, I am too. Remember to breathe. For 2 more. Last one, keeping that leg lifted, pulsing for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and lower that leg all the way back down. From here, we're going to shimmy, pivoting on that right knee. Go ahead and lower on to your right forearm. Hips lower to the ground. Give yourself a break. Remembering to breathe. Go ahead and grab that ball. We're going to keep it in our left hand, so don't let go of it too early. From here, we're going to test our obliques. So we're just going to lift our hips up and off the mat. Making sure we feel it in our core and in our hips. Still using that breath. Trying to keep a straight line. Just lifting. For 2 more. Testing that activation. Last one, let's go ahead and add our arm into the mix. When we're lifted, our arm's gonna be up and over our head. When we lower, we're gonna bring that ball back. Lift, overhead, lower, send it back. For about 2 more. Last one. This time we're going to add our leg. Go ahead and extend that leg out. And when you're ready, we're going to lift all the way up, almost like a starfish. Lower back down. Still squeezing through those obliques. Lift through that right glute. Use that breath. You got it. We're almost done, I promise. There's a stretch after this. I'm excited. About 2 more. And last one, you probably guessed, hold at the top, pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, lowering all the way back down. Go ahead and keep that ball in your left hand. We're going to lift ourselves up. Reach that right arm up and overhead, falling back. Feel that stretch through your right side body. Deep breath in. Length on every inhale, deepening your stretch through every exhale. Feeling this in your hips, to your shoulders, to your elbow, fingertips. Another deep breath in. Go ahead and windmill that arm back down, placing it behind your right glute. Lift that left hand up and overhead. Feel free to do this without lifting your hips as well, but if you'd like to increase that intensity, you can go ahead and push your hips off the ground. Still remembering to breathe. That's important. Exhale, go ahead and lower. Coming back into that tabletop position. We had so much fun. I want to do the same thing on the other side. Using that left hand now, we're just going to lift the ball up and lower. Lift, lower, activating that left shoulder. Still keeping those knees under your hips, shoulders over wrist. Last one, keeping that arm lifted. We're wrapping around. Looking for that length, trying to wrap a little further every time. For 2 more. Last one, wrapping all the way around. Coming back, keep that arm lifted. Go ahead and kick that right leg out. Squeeze through the glutes. And then we're squeezing the core, pressing the ball into the top of that thigh. Lift, looking for that length, straight line. Squeeze the core. Lift and squeeze. Lift, squeeze one more. Last one, squeeze. Go ahead and lower all the way back down. We're going to place that ball between our calf and our hamstring on our right leg. And when you're ready, we're kicking that right leg back. Squeeze the glutes. Staying lifted through your core, keeping that activated, pushing through the heels of your palms, slight bend in those elbows. Remembering to breathe. 2 more. Keep that glute activated the whole time. Last one. We're lifting and we're pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lowering back down straight into those hydrants. Activating a new part of our glute now. Keeping awareness into those muscles, prioritizing that mind to muscle connection. Squeezing the core. 2 more. Use those breaths. Last one. And pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lowering that leg all the way back down. Good job. We're going to go ahead and shimmy now. Rotating on that left knee. Onto the forearms, lowering down. Go ahead and grab that ball. Put it in your right hand. Remembering that straight line. Now we're activating our left obliques. Go ahead and lift and lower. Lift and lower. Use those breaths for about 2 more. Last one, adding the arm in, lifting overhead and lower. Pay attention to how it feels in your shoulder, in your core, and your hips. 2 more. Last one, adding in that leg. Go ahead and lift, lower. Keep those breaths. 2 more. Last one, pulse for 8, 7, 6, switched it up, 3, 2, 1, and we're coming all the way up into that mermaid stretch. Keeping the ball in our right hand, lift the left hand over. Feel that stretch through your left side body into your hips. Every inhale, we're looking for length. Every exhale, we're sinking further into the stretch. Deep breaths. When you're ready, go ahead and windmill that hand behind your left glute. Right arm goes overhead. Stay here if this is comfortable for you, but if you'd like to increase the intensity, go ahead and lift up those hips to feel a deeper stretch. One more deep breath in. And on that exhale, we're going to lower down, coming all the way to our bellies. Ball in front of us, placing both hands on top. Go ahead and just let it roll. Give yourself a break. Find your breath. Deep breath in. When you're ready, we're going to use that ball to help us roll up, finding that back extension all the way back down. Lift, press into the ball, and lower. Lift and lower. For one more, we're going to lift and lower. This time, try to get your glutes activated. We're going to lift our legs and lower. Lift and lower. Still taking deep breaths. One more time. Lift, squeeze at the top, lowering all the way down. Go ahead and take another deep breath in here. When you're ready, go ahead and put that ball to the side. Sometimes it helps to put it in between the blocks so it doesn't roll away. We're pushing back all the way into that child's pose. Lengthening the spine, feeling a deep stretch through the shoulders. Deep breath in. Try walking your hands all the way to the left. Feel that stretch through your right side body. Still breathing. As you're starting to relax into this stretch, try walking your fingertips just a little bit further. When you're ready, we're walking all the way to the right. Feel that stretch through your left side body now. Let's go ahead and walk back to center, lifting ourselves up, finding that tabletop position. If you're comfortable, go ahead and walk your foot, your left foot, up to the outside of your palm, finding that low lunge. Sometimes it helps to grab a block as well. If you need stability or assistance with your balance here, go ahead and let your hips sink a little bit further to the floor. Slowly adjusting with the stretch. If you'd like to add a little bit more flow, feel free to straighten that leg and rebend. If you're looking for a bit more of a calf stretch, go ahead and lift your toes up to the ceiling as well. Still breathing. When you're ready, go ahead and walk your foot to the outside of your mat. Feel free to stay here if this is comfortable to you, or if you'd like, go ahead and push that knee outside just to get a bit deeper of a hip stretch. If you're looking to add a little bit more of a flow through this as well, go ahead and reach your left hand up and overhead. Link through those fingertips. We're going to open the gate here, and we're going to close it again, reaching for that right knee. Opening the gate, deep breath in, find that length, and exhale, close. Going at a pace that's comfortable for you so that you feel your stretch. Go ahead and try to get 2 more if you can. Really reaching on that last one. We're going to place both of our palms back down on the mat. Step that left foot back. Find that tabletop position. Let's do the same thing for the right side now. Picking up that right leg, stepping it to the outside of that right hand. Holding here, letting your hips adjust. Low lunge. Slowly letting your hips sink further and further to the floor. If you'd like to add that flow, go ahead and straighten and rebend. If you'd like that calf stretch, lifting those toes all the way up to the ceiling. Trying to increase the depth every time. Go try to get 2 more. Last one, rebending. Feel free to stay here or walk that foot to the outside of the mat, pushing that knee to the right, letting your hips sink a little bit further. Option to add that flow if you want to reach your right arm up, link through fingertips, and then reaching for that left knee. Open the gate and close. Should be feeling this through your upper thoracic spine, opening up your chest, opening up your hips. Trying to increase that mobility every time. Try to get 2 more. Last one. Reach. And we're going to place both hands back down on the mat. This time we're going to shift onto our glutes, coming all the way to a seated position. We're going to grab the ball, our best friend. Yay. Go ahead and place it between your knees. From here, we're going to place our hands behind our knees, on our hamstrings. Deep breath in, lift that chest up, chin to ceiling. Exhale, squeeze the core, lowering down, trying to get our ribs to meet our hips. Inhale, lift, chest to ceiling. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Feel that core activate. Deep breath. This time we're gonna lower all the way down, vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way onto the mat. Our legs are gonna be stationary in a reverse tabletop position. We're gonna bring our fingertips to our temples, and we're just gonna crunch up slowly, trying to keep that lower back meeting the mat. Lift through the core and lower. Lift and lower. Don't worry, we build on this. Lift and lower. Deep breaths in. For 2 more, feel that core activate. Last one, we're gonna hold in this crunch, but we're gonna extend our legs out and back in. Lower back still should be touching the mat. Remembering to go at your own pace. Whatever feels comfortable to you. Last one. Go ahead and rebend those knees. Grab that ball. We're going to roll all the way back up. Legs are going to be straight on the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold over. Deep breaths. Go ahead and try to push that ball into the tops of your feet. Reach for your toes, feel that stretch. Coming into the final segment of our core section today, go ahead and lift all the way back up. We're going to place the ball in the middle of our shoulder blades, slowly leaning down. Letting the ball guide you, but we're not laying on the ball, rebending our knees, straightening out the left leg, finding half of a crunch, and lower. Should be a little shake through your core, waking it up, paying attention to that activation. Which muscles do you feel working right now? Are you using that breath? Quality over quantity. Last one. This time we're just going to scissor kick up, reach our hands behind, then overhead. Reach behind, then overhead. 2 more. Last one. Rebend that knee and lower. Doing the same thing for the other side. Opposite elbow, opposite knee, and straighten. Making sure you feel your core. 2 more. Last one. And we're straightening. Hands behind and overhead. Hands behind and overhead. 2 more, then we're done, I promise. Last one. Go ahead and lower that leg all the way down. Let your spine relax. Feel it stretch over the ball. A little bit of length, a little bit of love. Feel free to rock your knees side to side if that feels comfortable. Taking those breaths. Go ahead and remove the ball from underneath your back, set it to the side. We don't need it anymore. Oh no. I know, I'm sad too. Go ahead and lift your right leg up. Place the outside of your ankle on the top of your left knee. And we're just gonna grab onto the back of our hamstring. If you can't grab your hamstring, that's okay. If keeping your foot on the ground is comfortable, stay there. If you'd like to deepen that stretch. Option to rock side to side here if that feels comfortable. Another deep breath in. When you're ready, go ahead and let the bottom of your right foot Meet the ground, slowly rocking your hips to the side, taking those deep breaths. Feel that twist through your spine, trying to keep both shoulders on the ground. Holding here for another deep breath in. Feel that stretch. Coming all the way back up to center, go ahead and unhook your right foot from your left. Lifting your left, hook it over your right. Feel free to stay here or grab on to your right hamstring, gently pulling that leg closer to you. Option to rock side to side if that feels comfortable. Holding here for another deep breath in. When you're ready, we're going to gently let our hips rock to the right, planting the bottom of your left foot on the floor. Still trying to keep our shoulders on the ground. Taking another deep breath in this stretch. Exhale, coming all the way back up to center. Unhook your left foot from your right, bring the soles of your feet together, gently letting your knees fall to either side of your body. Go ahead and place one hand over your heart, one hand over your stomach. We're going to meet here for our last few breaths of class today. Taking this time to bring awareness to all four corners of your body. You might try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feel the back of your head pressed into the mat. The rise and fall of your chest. You might try box breathing here. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold, and repeat. Slowly allowing yourself to sink further and further into the floor. Setting your intentions for the rest of today. Letting go of any tension built up throughout the day. Taking a full brain scan, paying attention to how your muscles feel, how your joints feel, what's sore, what's not sore, what's good, end on a happy note. That's going to bring us to the end of today's class. Thank you all so much for coming. Feel free to stay and stretch if you'd like. If you are sore tomorrow, feel free to give me a Teams chat and tell me how mad you are at me, as long as you come back on Thursday. I promise Thursday's a really good stretch. With that, thank you all and good night.